What's up, everybody listening on the radios? This is Sports, Politics, and More. I am your host, Andrew Pollack, joined as always by the wonderful Frank Todaro. Frank, are you there?
I'm here, Andrew. How are you?
Well, I'm doing good. I'm very happy. The weather around here is quite comfortable, actually, in New York.
Oh yeah. Oh, hold on. I'm noticing something. Did you get a new microphone or something?
No, I boosted the level of the. You know how Windows has a boost thing? You right click on it.
Yeah.
So right when we got on the air, I realized, oh no, I forgot to put the option on, and I did.
Oh, whatever you did, it so far I have to say it sounds very, very good.
Well, because I'm very familiar with my my sound card on this computer.
Okay. It only took 2 months, but we got it. Oh boy. So what have you been up to? What'd you do over the weekend? How did you manage the hurricane crisis in New York?
We didn't have it. But over the weekend, if anybody saw my Snapchat, my friend Joe just recently turned 25, and that was a good party he had.
Oh, so you went to a party?
Out in Long Island, yes.
Oh yeah. Wow. Did you get crazy?
Well, we did.
I don't want to ask.
No, not the kind of crazy you're thinking of. Like everybody was sugar high.
Sugar high.
We were teenagers, pre-teenagers who have too much sugar, you know?
Yeah. What were you eating? Candy?
You could say that. Yes, we also had ice cream and cake.
It sounded like a hell of a party, Andrew. All right. So anyway,
What the crazy thing is, one of my friends gave my friend Joe a great birthday present. You know what it was?
what's that?
It was tickets to last night's Yankee game.
Oh wow!
And guess what happened?
Oh, they lost.
No, the game got postponed to today to a day-night doubleheader. And guess what? My friend who bought the ticket found out that the Yankees didn't let him go into the stadium because turns out he can only claim a ticket for next season's game.
Wow, are you serious? So they didn't give him a rain check for the game today?
And my friend, yes. 2 of my friends got screwed today.
So you bought if you had tickets for last night's game, the Yankees they're giving you a rain check in 2018?
Pretty much.
That's not good.
Yeah, well, who would want to go today when the Yankees both lost the doubleheader today?
So, but I don't understand this. So they have a doubleheader. So that means if you had tickets to today's game, do you get to watch? Do you get admission to both games?
Basically, today, the point of the matter was if you had a ticket to today's 1:00 game, they would let you stay for the second game. The second game was supposed to start at 7:00. But guess what the Yankees did after the first game ended?
They started right away?
They started right away! Go figure that out.
You know what? That's I don't know. I'm not gonna bash the Yankee organization because if you had tickets to last night's game and they would have gave a rain check to today's game. You know, some people have to work today, so they couldn't have made it. So in a way, they might have did the right thing, but. This week's news, of course, was dominated by the Hurricane Harvey in Texas, Houston, and it was everything that it was hyped up to be. It was a very bad hurricane. The winds, of course, it was Category 4, but mostly it was the rain. The rain just devastated the Houston area and the Texas area. I'm sure you've seen the images, Andrew, haven't you?
Well, from somebody who's a big news junkie, I've been watching a lot of Fox News recently, and I gotta say to Fox News, they've done a terrific job covering the storm. CNN can go eat shit because Don Lemonhead is just bashing Trump this, Trump that, blah 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 blah.
Right. Yeah. No. Of course. All these news stations and everybody, a lot of people I see on Twitter. They took the opportunity to politicize the hurricane, and of course it was all They everything was Trump's fault. They stopped short of them actually blaming Trump for the hurricane. Starting Friday, it's ridiculous. It's really It's really getting sickening to hear all this bias.
In fact, if I put CNN on right now, it's probably going to be Trump, 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 Trump,
Yeah,
Trump, Trump, Trump.
Right. It's all this manufactured, contrived news. It's not even news. I'm my whole thing. I don't know, and people I don't know who hear the show. I don't know if they're familiar with us or me. I don't really have a dog in the fight. I'm not so much a Trump cheerleader or a Trump supporter so much. My whole fight is against the fake news and lies. And
You want to know what Anderson Cooper is doing right now? He's just standing in front of the camera looking like an idiot.
Yeah. See, listen, this is the problem with a lot of people since last year. There's a lot of Johnny come latelys as far as politics is concerned. People who so much have never followed politics or been interested in politics, all of a sudden now they're throwing their 2 cents in, and they're political experts. And you make yourself look like a fool when you comment on things about Trump. Trump pardoned Sheriff Joe. That was horrible. But meanwhile,
I'm actually happy about that.
Or whatever. But I'm saying, if we'll cover this later. Every president. First of all, it's the law. It's in the Constitution that the president can pardon. He can pardon people, and believe me, all presidents do take the opportunity to pardon people who've been convicted, whether wrongly or controversially. But it's in their rights, and past presidents have pardoned much worse. And
well, remember when Obama pardoned Oscar Lopez Rivera?
Yeah, it goes back. With Sheriff Joe, I wasn't too familiar with him, but he was basically he's been a long time sheriff in Arizona, and his thing under the Obama administration, of course, where they suspended all immigration laws, pretty much, open borders. He got convicted of profiling Latinos in Arizona. I mean, who's gonna? Arizona is next to Mexico.
So is Texas.
What's that?
So is Texas.
Yeah, I mean, who's coming in? Who's coming in to Arizona? It's not going to be Chinese people, a gang of Chinese people.
Yeah, well, explain how Colorado has a lot of Latinos living there now.
Yeah, well, good. But I'm saying it's like, they make it sound like, to the Sheriff Joe, he's supposed to tell his people, if you see a whole bunch of Mexicans with tattoos, don't leave them alone,
Well, he has to do his job because he has to call in ICE when necessary.
Yeah, they don't want him to call in ICE. That's why. So
why don't they want him doing that?
Because under the Obama administration, they wanted open borders.
Well, I don't want open borders.
Yeah, I know. It was like attention all units. This is Sheriff Joe. Deputies, please leave all. See those 100 Mexicans with tattoos and bandanas. Leave them alone. All points bulletin on Chinese. Look for Chinese immigrants.
Chinese immigrants.
And if you see any Eskimos, let me know. Eskimos. We're looking for Eskimos. We can't profile Mexicans. It's ridiculous. Come on. Like who's coming through Arizona?
Well, no one's really coming through Arizona.
No, but you understand? If you were to see so-called illegals crossing into Arizona, what do you think they would look like?
I wouldn't know, but the point I'm trying to make here
make an educated guess. Since Mexico is right next to Arizona, what would the description be of illegals crossing into?
Well, that's what I'm trying to say. An
Mexico, right?
illegal immigrant, what they are defined as somebody who illegally crosses the United States border. It cannot. Let's just say it's not Mexico, as an example. Now, most people who know me think of me as sometimes racist, like, oh, you assume all the immigrants come from Mexico. Well, no. Sometimes they'll cross from Guatemala and El Salvador and Panama because they don't want to live their life in a third world country.
Right, but besides that, see, this is where these people who claim this are racist themselves, because they assert that all illegal immigrants are Mexican.
No, they're not.
Oh, there's Russians. I read a story the other day about an illegal immigrant, illegal alien, a Russian illegal alien who got convicted of killing his girlfriend. A Russian. There's Chinese. There's illegal Chinese immigrants. There's illegal Australians everywhere.
Ridiculous.
Anyway, so and then also, so it's crazy. But the hurricane, it was pretty intense. And of course the looting now that people started looting as after the rain stopped. But I don't think it's going to be as bad as Katrina, because in Texas, people are allowed to carry guns. So,
well, they are allowed to have open carry,
concealed carry. So there's more. Well, I'm trying to say is there's more guns. There's more guns. People with guns in Texas than New Orleans. But
well, you know who I like to bash there? The Houston's so-called wonderful mayor. Because he's not wonderful, he's a big moron. So, in case people who are not aware of what's going on, Mayor Sylvester Turner told everybody right before the storm hit that you are safe and sound, the hurricane will not do any harm.
Right.
Guess what? He did not order a proper evacuation of the city of Houston.
He didn't order a mandatory evacuation. Yeah, he played it down. He told people not to panic, that the storm is actually not as bad. And it all became politicized. But moving on, of course, I think it was over the weekend, MTV.
Oh no, not that liberal crap storm.
Yeah, MTV. Yeah, they had their annual Video Music Awards, VMAs. And I don't think I've watched the MTV Video Music Awards in about 15 years, maybe more, maybe since the late 90s. And it was trash back then. It's trash. It's even more trash now.
Look at me! I'm Harris Jackson. Just because I have the last name Jackson automatically assumes that I'm important.
Yeah. So it's basically, I don't even know why they call it the Video Music Awards. MTV that hasn't played videos in 15 years. They don't play videos.
They play videos in the morning. I looked up their programming actually.
Yeah, but listen. Back in the day, that's all they did was play videos, and then they started.
Frank, listen to this. So, if you didn't watch, Lord wasn't even singing this following song. Hang on, let me fast forward it.
Who is this?
Lord. She was dancing to this. Who dances like that?
Yeah. Well, Andrew, it's radio. We can't see that, but it was. Listen, I noticed like the last 5 years, all these shows, these award shows, they had satanic black magic themes to it. Now it's all political.
Wait, I have something even more disturbing. Keep talking.
What am I talking about?
What you were just saying.
Yeah, I'm saying. What are you gonna cue something up?
Yes, I have to play this stupid clip about Colin Kaepernick because it's even more stupid.
All right, go ahead. You play your thing. I had a clip queued up, but go ahead.
Hang on, I got it. Almost found it.
Oh yeah, now Colin Kaepernick. That's another thing. This guy is becoming.
Here it is. I don't even know who this chick is. Listen.
Wasting one brain cell on this moron's name. The crowd really seemed to like this girl too. Let's tune in for a moment and listen what kind of words of wisdom she's sharing with everyone.
I'm a huge fan because every move she make is money move. But before I get to her, let me just tell you this, baby. Colin Kaepernick, as long as you kneel with us, We're gonna be standing for you, baby.
Oh my God! Yeah, I saw that. I don't even know who that is, and she can't even speak English. But
I
listen,
give it a sec. I'll pull it up.
what?
No, I have her name.
All right. Well, whatever. Who cares? Whatever. I don't even want to. I don't want to know her name. Don't say it. I don't want to give her 5 minutes of airtime. But yeah, these I don't know who would watch these. Who is this? Who are these? Who is this show geared towards? It must be prepubescent and teenagers. I mean, if you have a brain cell in your head, you can't possibly watch this. And yeah, and you were playing the Mark Dice video, and he showed how Katy Perry, she was still ranting about Hillary losing. And hold on, we'll play the clip.
How the coping right now?
How are you coping right now? She says.
What is this? This is how you're coping? This whole year?
The whole year's been destroyed by this evil president. This is literally how they open an award show that's dedicated to music videos, asking how people are coping with President Trump, who's been in office for 7 months now. She went on to lament about how much better her life would be.
Yeah, so she's still talking about Hillary. She's a retard.
Oh God, that limped hard.
Yeah, Katy Perry. Yeah, who cares? Listen, and this is a thing that's happening right now. I go on Twitter, and there's a growing movement to people are really pissed off at all these celebrities and entertainment. Anybody who has to do that, they're tired. A lot of people in the United States are even in the world, they're very tired of all these celebrities and musicians and even sports figures becoming politicized. Nobody cares about what these politicians, what these entertainers have to say. You know, just keep singing, keep dancing, keep acting, and everything's okay. But once these actors and singers and sports athletes open their mouths, they turn people off. They're cringeworthy.
They've turned me off over the years.
Yeah, but they're cringeworthy. Nobody cares. Didn't these people learn? Didn't Hollywood learn from last year? Remember last year during the election when they would put out these public service announcements, all the actors and musicians about to vote for Hillary. If you vote, you have to vote for Hillary because if you vote for Trump, you're racist and this.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah, people shitted on those videos. I remember on YouTube, there was let's say 30,000 down votes to like 5,000 up votes. People reject them, and now I was reading during the week, maybe you have too, that the summer box office this year has taken a hit. They're doing I think about 15% less business than last year, and it's actually one of the worst summers for the box office.
Trust me, you were better off being a liberal 2 years ago.
Yeah, but listen, people are tired, and besides, forget the politics. The movies are garbage. All these movies are garbage. Everything.
Spider-Man was not garbage.
All right, one movie, okay, Angel, one movie, one movie. But I'm talking about it on the whole.
I completely get it now.
Yeah, the last few years, the movies are garbage. They're running out of ideas. All their big hits now are reboots of movies from 20 years ago and 30 years ago. They're making movies about old 80s TV shows, and it's garbage. It's because they're making these movies and they're making these movies politically correct with an agenda and with the message, and people reject it. It's so transparent what they're trying to do. It's propaganda, and people with half a brain cell see that, and they reject it. And I don't. When's the last time you went to the movies?
The last time I actually saw a movie was back in Delaware, and I actually saw the Last Planet of the Apes movie, and it's making me think of Steve Zahn playing Bad Ape.
What was that? The War of the Planet of the Apes?
Yeah, the one where Steve Zahn said "Bad Ape."
Yeah. Listen, okay. Yeah, and those movies, Planet of the Apes, the original series was from the late '60s and early '70s.
I DVR'd it.
The best movie was the original one, Planet of the Apes, with Charlton Heston. Of
Yes,
course.
my dad. If you talk to my dad about that, he would go on and on about
Well,
it.
it's a very good movie, and at the time, it was a very powerful message. When during the Cold War and when the world faced nuclear holocaust. At the end of the movie, of course, the end. If I hope I'm not spoiling this for anybody, but at the end of the movie, Charlton Heston, when he escapes, he goes free, and he's on the beach. He sees the Statue of Liberty buried underneath the sand, and it was melted. And of course, the whole movie was that he never left. He never left Earth, and he actually just traveled into the future. But anyway, and see that movie you're talking about, that new Planet of the Apes, War of Planet of the Apes. I saw it.
They burned the American flag.
Yeah. Of course, because the apes are supposed to represent. See, Antifa. Like, see, don't you get it? Antifa. See, like, don't you?
See, now I'm realizing it. They are Antifa.
Right. That's the program. And I actually, there was one ridiculous story where some African American guy, he pointed out to one of the apes who was wearing a blue vest, and he said, "Oh, this is racist. They're copying my look. Get out of here. Get lost."
Yeah, exactly.
Listen, like I've said, the internet is great, but now the internet and social media gives everybody opinions, and you know what they say about opinions, right?
Opinions are very strong.
No, opinions are like assholes. Everybody has one.
Ooh, okay.
Yes.
Now
Yeah.
I'm getting it.
Yes. Yeah. Everybody has an opinion. So people feel like their opinion counts or their opinion is validated because they put it on social media, and people give power to these opinions. People tweet, and all of a sudden it becomes national news. Who cares? People thinking out loud on the internet, but it's very exhausting. It's very exhausting, and the internet doesn't reflect real life. It's just a small portion. It's about maybe 20% of the population.
Right.
But so I was gonna say at 8:30 we'll have the news, of course.
Look what I just found. Ronald Reagan, 1980. Let's make America great again.
Yeah. Well, that's what Trump likes Reagan, and he's very much like her. But next week, which I'll consider like the season premiere of Spam, the new Spam, since the season starts next week. Next week we'll have a new little segment to keep the S in Spam Sports relevant. Next week, Andy will have Andy's top 5 NFL picks. Right? Are you excited about that, Andy?
Oh, that's going to be fun.
Yeah. Well, listen, it's going to be 5 minutes tops. Okay, tops 5 minutes.
I'll try to make it 5 minutes.
No, they have no choice.
Really? How come?
5 minutes. What are you going to talk about? You're going to pick. The segment is going to be Andrew is going to pick 5 games, 5 NFL games, and you're going to pick the winner. You're going to predict the winner with the spread. Okay.
Okay.
So let's say the Dallas Cowboys are playing the New England Patriots, and the Patriots are favored by 4. You will pick the winner based with the spread, okay?
Okay.
Like if you were gambling.
Ew.
Okay, you think you can handle that?
I can handle it.
All right, and then
I love reading the spreads.
All right, so you pick 5 games, and then you make a little prediction. So you get about 45 seconds for each game.
Well, I already have one game in mind for next Thursday.
All right. So save it for next week.
The opener.
Save it for next week.
Can I just say it?
No. Save it for next week.
England, Kansas City.
He can't help himself. Suspense.
I know. But just reminding our audience that the game is next Thursday, 8 o'clock NBC.
But in 10 seconds, people are going to forget. And I don't even know how many people even care. But anyway, I think it'll be a fun segment, a little fun 4 or 5 minute segment. And then we'll track. And then, of course, on the following week, we'll track. And that'll be part of the segment. We'll track your previous picks. And then we'll keep a record for Andrew.
I'm going to love it.
All right, we'll keep a record, and maybe I don't know. Maybe I'll pick my games, and we'll have a little contest. Who knows? But
Andrew goes to Minnesota for the Super Bowl.
Yeah,
that'll be a good one.
Right. we'll figure it out. We'll figure it out. But so yeah, that's pretty much it. And then of course, what I was going to talk about with Hurricane Harvey. I started seeing this garbage online about how Hurricane Harvey, see, they politicized it again. How Hurricane Harvey was the product of climate change.
Right.
Get out of here. You don't believe that.
I seriously doubt that liberals just want to keep gaining attention. They're just hurting their own cause every single day.
So stupid. Like hurricanes have been happening forever. It's called the end of August and September. It's called hurricane season. You know why? Because it's normal to have hurricanes in that part of the.
You're right. You're right.
Yeah, hurricanes start off the east coast of Africa. They move westward across the Atlantic towards the United States, and they cross over the islands. They cross over the islands and hit the coast of the east coast of the United States. It's a normal thing. That's why they have category 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 hurricanes, because it's normal, you know. And these people, politicize it that it's climate change. It's so stupid. And very briefly, they're saying that this is the worst hurricane in history, and expect more, maybe even worse. Where they've had there's a quick this is the Houston Press. They listed the top 5 worst hurricanes in recorded history. Don't forget, they started recording weather about maybe 120 years. So number 5 was Hurricane Alicia, 1983.
Mm-hmm.
Had winds. 1983 had winds over 100 miles an hour. Cost $2.6 billion in damage back then, and killed 21. In 1915, they didn't have a name for this. See, that shows you how short the history of recording weather is. How could you have an accurate studies and information when the information is unreliable? Yeah, 1915. Listen to this. Before 1950, storms weren't given names, but it didn't mean they were any less destructive. The 1950 Category 4 storm that hit Galveston is evidence. The giant hurricane was the first test of Galveston's new seawall. It was 120 miles an hour. In 2008, Hurricane Ike. So this is only 9 years ago. Hurricane Ike. It had 20-foot storm surges. Yeah, it had 20-foot storm surges. It killed more than 100 people, and there's still 34 missing. So imagine this. Today, I think only so far the death toll is about 20 to 30 people. 2001, Tropical Storm Allison. I remember these. Tropical Storm Allison. And had 36 inches of rain in 24 hours, 40 inches total in the southeast of Texas. And they said they called that the 100-year flood. Every storm that hits is always the worst in history. And then, of course, according to the Houston Press, the worst hurricane in Houston history was from 1900. Again, no name. And it says the Galveston hurricane of 1900 may be the worst natural disaster in the history of the United States. Oh, that was just the beginning of the Industrial Revolution, so you can't say it's climate change. It most certainly was the deadliest, killing an estimated 8,000 people, though some believe the total was close to 12,000.
What storm was this?
It's unnamed. I told you.
Unnamed storm.
Before 1950, they didn't give hurricanes names.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Yeah. Well, of course, the death total was high because people didn't have technology like today. We have radars and people prepare. Of course, the buildings, the infrastructure is stronger and people evacuate. So so it was total. They say it was close to the total was close to 12,000, and most were carried away with the storm surge on Galveston Island, leading to the building of the 15-foot seawall. And most of the buildings on the island destroyed, of course, because back then the construction wasn't as good as today. And they say the Category 4 storm delivered 120-mile winds and a 15-foot storm surge that nearly destroyed Galveston. So, and they give an honorable mention to Hurricane Carla, which occurred in 1961. These people see. This is because people, again, what did I say before? Johnny come latelys, you people who don't, they never read, they never actually bother to read books or information on the internet, and they just want to throw their 2 cents into this, and they think that by writing an article claiming that Hurricane Harvey is climate change, that people either they're lying or they're willfully ignorant. Like, why couldn't the reporter who claimed that Harvey was part of climate change actually go up and search on the internet for the history of hurricanes in Texas? But anyway, all right. Well, it's
People are lazy. That's where I'm going to end.
I don't know. Either they're lazy, willfully ignorant, or flat out liars and bullshit artists. So either way, if you're any of those three,
Who is she?
any of if you follow any of those three and you're a so-called journalist, you are a fail, epic fail, and you shouldn't be writing for any press. Anyway, it's 8:30, Andrew. It's time for the news.
All right. Here we go, ladies and gentlemen. It's time for my weekly segment where I read the news. So the city of Houston has been trying out. It will be another busy day for rescue crews tomorrow as floodwaters continue to rise in areas near reservoirs, rivers, and other bodies of water in the Houston metro area. All that while, sunshine will allow for some areas to begin the process of drying out or cresting. The storm-related death toll has risen to 22, according to the Harris County Institute of Forensic Sciences. Meanwhile, Tropical Storm Harvey made another landfall, this time near Cameron, Louisiana, early this morning. The storm is dumping heavy rainfall in the Port Arthur and Beaumont areas in Texas, and many in the area have been forced to evacuate. A curfew has been put in place overnight to prevent crime and looting in the Houston metro area. However, according to the police chief, Art Acevedo,
Artie Acevedo. That guy's a good police chief in Houston.
robberies and looting have been reported.
Yeah.
He was quoted as saying, "Don't victimize our victims. We will come after you."
And now listen, if you own a business technically, and you catch somebody looting from your business, technically you could shoot that person and kill them. I saw today there was a clip on YouTube on Twitter where this guy who was an ex law enforcement, he was protecting the store with a shotgun, and people were actually were like defiant of him, and he's like, he could shoot them and kill them, but at what point do you make the choice to pull the trigger and kill a looter?
Well, Texas is very different. That's why we.
Yeah, but I know.
to
But I'm saying,
explain it.
if you think about it, if somebody's like just stealing a pair of shoes, is it worth killing them over a pair of shoes? Come on. But I'm sorry. Continue.
The city of Bel Air and West University Place, among other cities, have joined ordering overnight curfews. There have also been reports of criminals impersonating police officers.
Yeah. This is a very bad. People are going around pretending to be law enforcement and evacuating people from their homes, and then they go and rob their houses.
That's very bad.
Yeah.
All right, let's continue reading. ICE, Homeland Security officers, and other officials have been impersonated. ICE and Homeland Security officers are now involved in evacuation efforts. If you're not sure, do not open your door to anyone that you do not know.
Yeah, ask for ID. Ask for their badges.
Unrelated note, I heard before the storm that they were telling people in the Houston area to actually put their social security numbers on their arms somehow.
No. That was I forgot who said it. They said if you don't evacuate, you might as well put your ID on you might as well write your ID on your arm, meaning that if you don't evacuate, you're going to be dead, and that's the only way they're going to be able to identify you.
Well, that's a stupid thing.
No, it's not a stupid thing. Whoever said that was actually saying the smart thing. Unlike the mayor of Houston, they're saying if you don't evacuate, you're dead. You're going to die.
Trust me, if I was in Houston, I would have immediately evacuated.
You have to. But listen, that's that's a very big decision. Let's say you have 3 days before the storm hits. At what point do you make the decision to leave your house and your belongings, knowing that everything is going to be gone, and where do you go? Some people,
Well-
Andrew, some people don't have the money or the means. They have nowhere to go. Where are they going to go besides an evacuation center, And some people, it's very hard to let go of the fact that, imagine your house right now. You have to leave your house by the morning, and everything in your house is going to be gone. That's the last time you're going to see your house and your belongings. People, very heartbreaking. Had to abandon their pets. That's why you see all these dogs and animals being rescued.
Well, thankfully, when we had Hurricane Sandy in 2012, I remembered that Mike Bloomberg, our mayor at the time, told everybody inland not to evacuate.
Right.
He told everybody in Far Rockaway and Brighton Beach, get the hell out. That was the right thing to do.
Right. What they did is they set up red zones. So if you on the map, if you were in the red zone, that meant get the hell out, because that was where flooding would be imminent. And
Well, I thought Mike Bloomberg handled the storm very well.
Well, he didn't handle the storm well. His staff handled the storm well. FEMA handled the storm well. See, in a big city like New York,
he cooperated.
Yeah, but even he gets criticism. But anyway, again, I'll continue, Andrew.
All right, let's continue reading. Flood threat continues near lakes and reservoirs where releases are underway, including Barker and Addicts.
What?
That's what it says.
Say that again.
It says Barker.
Addicts. It's say fast. It's the name of a dam.
Oh man,
The Barker Dam.
my perverted mind.
All right, go ahead. Continue.
I just felt like I was making a prank call on Mo Sisliak. Even with the end of it, it will take several days for the water to start to recede, and it will take months for the city of Houston to recover and rebuild. Mayor Turner said, the moron, anyone who underestimates the spirit of Houston doesn't know this city. We are a tough bunch.
Yeah.
Don't evacuate during big storms.
Yeah, good luck getting reelected. If when it comes time for election day, his opponent is just going to keep playing that his speech of him telling people not to evacuate.
Oh boy, well, keeping in mind here, the next election is actually not till 2019.
Oh well, it doesn't matter. It'll be recorded. But anyway, go ahead.
I'm sure Bill King will run again.
Yes. Go ahead. Let's move on to another story, Andrew.
All right, let's move on. Oh, one more thing. The roadways in Houston are still underwater. Please listen to local elected officials, and they'll tell you when they go back on the road. Anyhow, the second landfall was just recorded early this morning, just west of Cameron, Louisiana, according to the National Hurricane Center. The current track of the forecast from the National Hurricane Center, it is expected to weaken and continue northward into Arkansas and Tennessee. The storm returned to land about 5 miles west of Cameron with maximum sustained winds of 45 miles an hour.
Yeah, of course, the storm lost a lot of energy, but it's still the wind, and even if it's a little rain, it's still to add on to what already happened. It still hurts.
All right. So as I said earlier, the rainfall tonight is supposed to make landfall in Baton Rouge, Louisiana, before, as I said earlier, moving up to Arkansas, Tennessee, and parts of Missouri. Also, keeping in mind here in the New York area, we are expected to get some rainfall due to Tropical Storm Harvey this weekend. That's what the forecast is calling for here in well, it's not going to be as bad, but there'll still be rain Saturday night, they said, yes.
Yeah, the storm lost a lot of energy, so now it's just a tropical storm now. If at most it's a tropical storm. But all right, go ahead, Andrew.
All right, so to quickly end up this part of the story, the hurricane made landfall Friday night in Houston as a Category 4 hurricane.
Yes. So it wasn't the worst hurricane in history.
Well, that's going to have to be up to debate because this is literally reminding me of Hurricane Katrina.
Yeah, but it's not. The worst, the strongest hurricane is a Category 5. So this storm just had a lot of rain. That's all. But anyway, let's continue, Andrew.
All right, so we're going to move on and summarize the president's visit to Texas yesterday, to basically quoting a bunch of the stuff that he said.
And this is another thing that really pissed me the fuck off. Friday, they were saying it's Trump. He's not doing a good job to respond to the storm. Everything this guy does is wrong. Meanwhile, Friday night, they were criticizing him that he pardoned Sheriff Joe on Friday instead of worrying about the storm. He could do more than one thing at a time.
The thing is, I heard a term over the weekend last week where they were saying that the presidential administration dumps a news story that people could care less about.
Listen. Every administration on Friday, it's called a news dump, where you announce something that might get picked up by the news and might get some criticism, but they do it on Friday afternoon where everybody's going to be off and it's the weekend. Nobody's really going to be paying attention, and by Monday, the story dies down. Obama did it, Clinton did it. Actually, you know how many times I remember Obama signing bills on the night on Christmas Eve. He was signing controversial bills on Christmas Eve, so nobody would pay attention. So,
how come I paid attention?
Because you have a half a brain. But
anyway, because Barack Obama was a liberal communist. We all know that.
Anyway, good. So yeah, and then of course, they were saying first they were criticizing him that he wasn't responding fast enough. Then when he announced that he was going to go to Texas on Tuesday, they said, "Oh, he's going there too soon. He's going to cause a distraction." And then there was stuff about they had a picture of the First Lady Melania boarding Air Force One, and she was wearing heels. They said, "Oh, what is she, stupid? She's going to a flood with heels. She could change her fucking shoes in the plane, you fucking morons." Oh, my God.
Exactly. The libtards could care less.
Either you're fucking stupid, ignorant, or you're a fucking liar. Either one, you shouldn't be reporting the news. It's not news anymore. It's commentary. It's people. These journalists are commenting on what they see. That's not journalism. You report the facts.
It gets to be annoying, and I think that
even the
liberal media just makes it worse.
See our little news segment. You read the actual news of somebody. I make a comment, but it's my comment. My comment is not the news. You're reading the news.
Right. I'm the one reading from the teleprompter.
I'm getting pissed off, Andrew. Now hold on. Let's hear from President Trump.
Thank you, everybody. What a crowd. What a turnout. I want to thank our governor. Your governor has done a fantastic job. Governor Abbott, thank you very much. Who's right here someplace? He's right here. So we just want to thank your governor, Senator Cruz, Senator Cornyn, everybody, Dan.
You notice you hear all the cheers?
Yes, people are cheering. Those are his supporters.
Again, we will see you soon. I will tell you, this is historic. It's epic what happened. But you know what? It happened in Texas, and Texas can handle anything. Thank you all, folks. Thank you.
That applause. The news, and he's holding up the flag. The news, the fake news will have you believe that everybody hates him. No,
I'll tell you who really makes liberalism sound bad besides these morons at the MTV Awards. Quickly mentioning, Kira Kosarin makes it look bad. Oh,
yeah, I don't even know who the hell. I don't even know. Andrew, I don't want to hear any of their names. I don't care. I don't know who they are. I don't want to know them. Who the
I
fuck?
couldn't help it.
Somebody, yeah, I got to take political advice and form my beliefs on somebody who sings a third grade level pop song that sucks. Who gives a fuck? All right, good. Yeah, okay. So let's move on to the next story, Andrew. Because okay, I'm sorry. Good. Read the story.
No, I'm gonna move on to the next one.
Okay.
Come on.
Anyway, yeah.
Running
So
low on time.
okay. You're right. I'm sorry. Good.
All right, so we're going to move on to Sheriff Joe Apiro. We were quickly mentioning him earlier as me and Frank were ranting about liberals. President Trump granted a pardon to Sheriff Joe Apiro, the former sheriff of Maricopa County, Arizona, this past Friday. The 85-year-old was recently found guilty of criminal contempt for defying a judge's order to stop traffic patrols that allegedly targeted immigrants. He had been charged with misdemeanor contempt of count of allegedly withdrawing, defying a judge order in 2011 and prolonging his patrols for another 17 months. Apiro acknowledged extending the patrols, but insisted it wasn't intentional, blaming one of his former attorneys for not properly explaining the importance of the court order and brushing off the conviction as a petty crime. He was expected to be sentenced in October and face up to 6 months in jail if he was convicted.
Yeah.
One more. So the story goes, Frank, did you watch the Trump rally in Arizona last week?
No, I missed it.
Okay, so I actually watched. So when he mentioned, he did mention Sheriff Joe at this, you know how he campaigned hard last year. So this is sort of like a campaign style event.
It's rally. He has rallies every once a month. He has a rally.
Yeah. So this rally, he was in Arizona. And he was talking about Charlottesville, blah, blah, blah. So the important highlight to take from here was that he suggested that Sheriff Joe was going to be fine. And I knew that the pardon was coming. I just didn't expect.
Right. He hinted that. Yeah, he hinted. And then
this is the first pardon in the Trump administration.
Yeah, hold on. I got a news clip. So yeah, when he announced the pardon, of course, a fake news reporter from CNN questioned questioned Trump about the pardon. Of course, their spin on this is that Trump supports racism because Joe actually was enforcing the law. So, and then Trump set him straight.
Won many elections in the state of Arizona, but
and then he whips out the list.
And if you look at, as an example, President Clinton pardoned Mark Rich, who was charged with crimes going back decades, including illegally buying oil from Iran while it held 53 American hostages, wasn't allowed to do that, selling to the enemies of the United States. He was pardoned after his wife donated hundreds of thousands of dollars to the Clintons. Then you have dangerous criminals. President Clinton pardoned Susan Rosenberg, a member of the weathered underground, charged as part of a bank robbery that led to a guard and 2 police officers being killed. Drug dealers. President Clinton commuted the sentence of Carlos Vignali, a central player in a cocaine ring that stretched.
That was his cocaine dealer.
Criminal
boy.
leaker. You've heard the word leaker? President Obama commuted the sentence of Chelsea Manning, who leaked countless sensitive and classified documents to WikiLeaks, perhaps and others. But horrible thing that he did, commuted the sentence, and perhaps pardoned. President Obama commuted the sentence of Oscar Lopez Rivera, who was charged as part of a violent independence group from Puerto Rico, responsible for 28 Chicago area bombings and many deaths in the 1970s.
But he wasn't a racist.
Sheriff Joe is a patriot. Sheriff Joe loves our country. Sheriff Joe protected our borders.
He did.
And Sheriff Joe was very unfairly treated by the Obama administration, especially right before an election that he would have won.
Okay. So yeah, you see what I was talking about earlier at the top of the hour. presidents do that, and Trump is a smart guy. The reporters are stupid. They're just setting themselves. It's almost like if I didn't know any better, it's almost like these Trump was actually planting these reporters in the crowd to ask these softball questions so he could just destroy them. But anyway, go ahead, Andrew. We're getting low on time. You want to move on to another story?
All right, let's move on. We have. Let's see what else I can think of reading from the teleprompter. Yeah, we have to focus on AMPTA because this is very important. Okay. This is important airtime. We must talk about this.
Read at a brisk pace.
Yes. Violence over this weekend by left-wing AMPTA activist in Berkeley has opened up another chapter in the
Antifa.
Oh, Antifa, my bad. Antifa activists in Berkeley have opened another chapter in the debate at the birthplace of the free speech movement over UC Berkeley's plan to host several conservative firebrands next month. University officials have vowed to allow speakers, including controversial provocateur Milo Yiannopoulos.
Okay. Including conservative provocateur Milo Yiannopoulos.
To come even under the threat of violence, which has occurred at Berkeley and other universities earlier this year. Some city leaders are becoming increasingly wary, fearing a repeat of Sunday's clashes in which the protesters, wearing black with their faces covered...
Yeah, protesters. They call them protesters, not rioters, not violent protesters.
They're terrorists. They're terrorists.
Yeah.
That's what they are. They were wearing black with their faces covered, attacked a small showing of supporters of President Trump and others that they accused, sometimes inaccurately, of being white supremacists or Nazis.
Oh, wow. They actually said inaccurately. Okay, go ahead.
Oh. Berkeley City Councilman Ben Bartlett said, "We don't want the moral, psychological, and physical expense of having these agents of hate come to Berkeley. We know the contest of ideas is at the very heart of freedom. But at the same time, when the ideas are certain to cause bloodshed, he is inclined to err on the side of protecting the population," and he said that with a heavy heart.
Yeah. And I just want to say, see, you notice at Berkeley, the cops never, you never see cops. That's because the mayor of Berkeley, he's an Antifa supporter, and now finally him and the news are being forced to admit that these Antifa idiots are a danger and they're violent. But so now that they're admitting that they're Antifa's violent, their solution is, well, since they're going to be violent, the way to stop them from being violent is not to stop Antifa with law enforcement. It's to not make these so-called controversial speakers apply their free speech.
It's ridiculous. It's just completely ridiculous. I just had enough of Black Lives Matter and social justice warriors, and now this.
Yeah, I would play the clip. There was this one member of Antifa. She got arrested at the rally, and she kept screaming like a 9-year-old that she had a service dog, and the cops wouldn't let her have a service dog. Listen, when you get arrested, you lose your privileges. And number two, if you're going to go to a rally and be violent and attack the cops, don't bring your fucking service dog. And if you need a service dog, maybe you shouldn't be protesting and acting like a thug. There was
just idiocracy on my book, but I know for a fact that this needs to stop. If you're a social justice warrior, stay at home. If you believe that Black Lives Matter is all about terrorizing, then just stay home. And if you're part of Antifa, please stay home.
Yeah, okay. They're going to stay home, Andrew. Yeah, okay. All right. So anyway.
Not enough.
So yeah, they wound up arresting 11 of these people. If you go search on the internet, their mugshots are available. They had one girl. She kept saying she didn't want to be filmed. Too bad. Why don't you want to be filmed?
Yes, you did see the video posted by who's the guy? I'm gonna keep forgetting his name.
I don't know.
Mark
But
Dice. That's
yeah,
the guy.
they said the average age of the 13 people arrested is 30 years old. So these aren't students. These are people that are bussed in. Probably most of them are probably professors or faculty. But anyway, Andrew, we're running out of time. Well, let's go to the next story.
Well, I don't want to get,
Let's
cut
go.
off.
Let's go. I got it. Let's keep going.
All right.
Very
I'll
quick,
move
very
on to the
quick,
next
very
one.
quick, very quick.
All right, more Antifa news. Berkeley police
I read
released
that story.
mugshot.
I just read that story. Go to the next one.
All right, let's find another one. French President Emmanuel. Oh, I got a better one. No.
Yeah,
How?
yeah, good.
Okay, maybe he's born with it, or maybe he just prefers fancy products. French President Emmanuel Macron has been heavily criticized for spending more than $30,000 on makeup during his first 3 months in office.
Now this is funny because the person he beat was Marie Le Pen, a woman. So why is this?
I actually endorsed her. I endorsed her.
She was. I don't understand why this idiot is spending money on makeup. $30,000 on makeup. I don't understand.
According to the source from a French magazine, Le Point, that he spent $30,695 on makeup since entering office back in May.
Oh my God!
Go figure that one out.
That's like $9,000, $8,000 of makeup a month.
According to Business Insider, the report comes for a low point for him, where popularity has plunged in recent weeks following the announcement of budget cuts and diverse labor reform.
You know what? So, I have no sympathy for the French people because they even though Le Pen was, in hindsight, I think that election was rigged. But again, let's move on to the last story, Andrew.
I really don't have a last story.
The Cowboy game, the Cowboys. You don't see it?
Oh, right. The Week 4 preseason game between the Week 4 preseason game between the Cowboys and Texans has been canceled. The reason is to allow the Texans to return home to their families in Houston, where flooding and devastation ravaged the city in recent days as a result of Hurricane Harvey. So, if you're expecting to go to a preseason game tomorrow in NRJ Stadium,
it's a meaningless game. Who cares? Anyway, all right, Andrew, that's gonna wrap it up. Thank you. We had a good show. You want to give out your information on Twitter?
At Andy's Randomness, Twitter and Instagram, Andrew Sports Fan, Snapchat, and PSN.
Okay, and we'll be back next week live at Wednesday at 8 p.m. And we'll have Andy's new segment, top 5 NFL picks. Thank you for the viewers and the listeners. I hope you enjoyed, and we'll see you next week.
Bye, everyone. Have a good Labor Day weekend.
Yes.